Have you ever, felt that little shake in your legs just getting up? Or maybe your arms feel heavier reaching for something?
Yeah, or just crossing a room takes a bit more effort than it used to.
Exactly. That subtle feeling. It's easy to just shrug and say, I'm just getting older.
And age definitely plays a part, no doubt. But what if it's not just age? What if something you do, like every single day, is actually speeding things up?
Something seemingly harmless.
Totally. A habit so common it's practically invisible, but it's quietly chipping away at your muscle strength.
And here's the thing that really jumped out from the sources we looked at. By the time you really notice it, maybe feeling less steady or tired more easily, the process is already well underway.
It really highlights how these small daily choices stack up over time, affecting our strength long term. But, and this is important, there's definitely hope. We'll get to that.
Absolutely. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We've dug into some fascinating sources, research papers, articles on senior health, muscle science, lifestyle factors.
Right, all trying to understand this specific issue.
Our goal here is to really pull out the crucial insights for you, to help you understand what's going on with physical strength as we age, and maybe more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Because the sources are pretty consistent. Yeah, age happens, but these common everyday habits, they often play a bigger and crucially a more preventable role in losing muscle strength.
So we're diving into this idea of sarcopenia.
Exactly, which sounds a bit technical, I know.
Yeah, let's unpack that. What does sarcopenia actually mean for someone day to day?
Okay, so fundamentally, it's the medical term for losing muscle mass and strength involuntarily as we age. But what the sources stress is how sneaky it is. It doesn't usually shout with pain.
It creeps up on you.
It really does. It's a slow, quiet reduction in muscle power, instability. Think of it like your body's engine just gradually losing horsepower.
And that's what makes everyday things harder, like stairs, getting out of a chair, just feeling steady.
Precisely. It erodes your functional strength. And it's surprisingly common. Some research we saw, cited in the Lancet Public Health, suggests over 30% of folks over 60 already show signs.
Wow, 30%.
Yeah, and often they're not even aware initially. You kind of adapt to the weakness bit by bit until you hit a point where you really notice.
Okay, that's a big number. But you mentioned hope earlier. It's not, like, inevitable.
Definitely not inevitable. That's the key message from the sources. While it's common, you can slow it down significantly, and in many cases, you can actually improve strength and function, even get some back.
So it's about identifying what's driving it.
Exactly. Understanding and tackling the habits that contribute to the loss. That's the first step.
Right. And the sources lay out 10 specific habits they flag as particularly damaging over time. Some are things you'd expect, maybe, but others. Well, that number one habit, it seems almost counterintuitive.
It's a really insightful list. Let's count them down, starting at number 10.
Okay, habit number 10. Consuming processed sugar daily. Now, we all know sugar isn't great for, blood sugar, weight. But the muscle connection, how does that work?
Well, this is where it gets interesting biochemically. The sources describe a direct pathway. Regular processed sugar, not just candy, but sodas, cereals, yogurt, snacks.
It's hidden everywhere.
It really is. It causes these frequent blood glucose spikes. Your body pumps out extra insulin constantly. And this state, this chronic high insulin, creates low-grade inflammation throughout the body.
Inflammation again.
Right. And that inflammation directly messes with your muscles' ability to repair and rebuild themselves after use.
So it's like jamming the repair signal.
You got it. One study mentioned from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found excess sugar actually reduces muscle protein creation. So even if you exercise, your muscles can't recover and grow properly in that inflammatory environment. Plus, there's oxidative stress, more damage to muscle cells, leading to quicker fatigue, slower recovery.
So practically, what do the sources suggest, beyond just eat less sugar?
Check labels religiously. Look for glucose, corn syrup, maltodextrin, cane juice, all those added sugars. Swap sugary stuff for whole fruits. The fiber helps.
Okay.
Use cinnamon or vanilla for flavor instead. Go for unsweetened yogurt or milk alternatives. Choose whole grains. Use natural sweeteners like dates or a tiny bit of honey, but sparingly. Small changes add up to lower that inflammatory load.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, number 9. This feels super basic, almost too simple, but the sources call it a frequent silent error. not drinking enough water.
It does sound basic, doesn't it? But think about it. Muscles are about 75% water.
Wow, that much.
Yep. So even mild dehydration hits them hard and fast. They lose suppleness, cramp more easily, recovery slows way down, you feel stiffer, weaker.
And drinks like coffee or soda don't help.
They can actually make it worse. Many act as diuretics, making you lose water your muscles really need. Plus, dehydration reduces blood volume.
Meaning less oxygen and nutrients get delivered.
Exactly. Your circulation struggles. Muscles can't work efficiently or repair properly. You feel tension, fatigue, maybe even lightheaded.
So how much water are we talking?
The sources generally recommend at least 6 to 8 glasses of plain water daily for older adults. And importantly, don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst means you're already dehydrated.
Good point. Any tips to make it easier?
Start the day with water, have a small glass before meals, carry a bottle. Add natural flavor like lemon or mint if you find plain water boring. Eat water-rich foods like cucumbers, melon, oranges, simple stuff. Hydration is just fundamental muscle fuel.
Okay, fuel covered. Let's talk function. Habit number 8, avoiding strengthening activities. I think for many, strength training conjures up images of gyms, heavy weights. It can feel intimidating.
Totally understandable barrier, but here's the hard truth. After 30, we naturally start losing muscle maybe 3–5% per decade, and that speeds up after 60 if we don't actively counter it.
Use it or lose it, basically.
That's pretty much it. If you avoid using muscles, especially with some resistance, the body gets the signal they aren't needed and starts downsizing. And that directly impacts your independence carrying things, getting up, balance.
But here's the good news again, right? The sources say you can fight back without becoming like a bodybuilder.
Absolutely. That's a key takeaway. Modest effort makes a big difference. One study mentioned, Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, showed just 2 30-minute sessions a week with gentle resistance can help rebuild muscle, improve balance, reduce fall risk.
Gentle resistance, what does that look like?
Simple things. Lifting water bottles or cans. Doing chair stands, sitting and standing without using your hands. Wall push-ups. Using resistance bands. Even just balance exercises.
Okay.
The key is signaling to the muscles, hey, we still need you. Even 10 minutes a day helps if it involves some resistance. Start slow, focus on control.
So it's less about heavy lifting, more about just maintaining, keeping things active.
Exactly. Maintaining your freedom, using muscles helps them stick around to support you.
Right. Okay, number 7 brings us back to food. Consuming foods that quietly harm muscles. So not just missing good stuff, but actively eating bad stuff.
Yeah, it's the other side of the coin. Certain foods, even ones that seem harmless, promote inflammation or interfere with how muscles work and recover. Over time, it adds up.
What kind of foods are on this list,
Well,
and why are they bad for muscles specifically?
Okay, the sources list a few categories. Sugary drinks, like sodas, back to that inflammation point, hindering repair. Processed meats, things like hot dogs, deli meats, often have preservatives that can actually damage muscle tissue and harm cardiovascular health, which muscles rely on.
Makes sense.
White bread, refined flour stuff, they lack nutrients, spike blood sugar, then crash it, offering no real fuel for muscle repair. Fried foods, fast food, unhealthy fats that promote inflammation and slow recovery. Packaged snacks often loaded with sodium and artificial stuff, leading to water retention, fatigue, just generally poor nutritional value. Sweets, pastries, sugar spikes again. Excessive alcohol blocks nutrient absorption, directly weakens muscle.
Wow, quite a list.
Energy drinks, too much caffeine can mess with sleep, which is crucial for recovery. Artificial sweeteners potentially disrupt gut health, affecting nutrient uptake. And high-salt canned foods, sodium imbalance can cause stiffness, cramps.
So it's a mix of inflammation, empty calories, and blocking good stuff.
Pretty much. The core message is just be aware. What you eat either helps or hurts. Simple swaps help whole grains for white, water for soda, lean protein for processed. Add anti-inflammatory things like olive oil, nuts, fish, turmeric. Doesn't have to be perfect, just slightly better, consistently. Feed your muscles well.
Okay, habit number 6. This one feels tricky. Excessive use of painkillers and anti-inflammatory medications. We reach for them to feel better, right? To deal with soreness.
Exactly. And this is where the sources reveal something many people just don't know. While these meds definitely help with pain and inflammation short term, using them frequently or excessively can actually interfere with how muscles naturally heal and get stronger.
How so?
Well, think about it. When you use your muscles, you create tiny micro tears. That triggers a healthy short-term inflammation response. It's a signal. Send repair crews here.
Okay.
But if you constantly take anti-inflammatories, you block that signal. The body doesn't get the full message to initiate the repair and strengthening process.
So you're short-circuiting the rebuilding.
Essentially, yes. Research mentioned, like in the Journal of Applied Physiology, suggests long-term use of common NSAIDs, ibuprofen, naproxen, can suppress muscle protein synthesis. That's the core rebuilding process.
Never thought of it that way.
And there are other potential issues with overuse strain on liver, kidneys, stomach irritation, maybe messing with nutrient absorption needed for
So
muscles.
the relief now might cost strength later.
That's the potential downside of routine daily use, according to the sources. They're not saying never use them. Injuries, post-surgery, chronic conditions under doctor's care are different. But for everyday aches, maybe question if it's a crutch.
Are there gentler alternatives mentioned?
Yeah, things like warm compresses, Epsom salt baths, gentle stretching or walking, focusing on anti-inflammatory foods, staying hydrated, even mindfulness practices. And always talk to your doctor before changing medications.
Right. It's about listening to your body, not just silencing it. Okay, habit number 5, inadequate protein consumption. I think many assume protein is just for athletes or bodybuilders.
That's a common misconception. The sources strongly argue that as we age, our protein needs actually increase. Our bodies become less efficient at using protein to build muscle, something called anabolic resistance.
So we need more just to maintain.
Exactly. Protein provides the essential building blocks, but the problem is many older adults just don't get enough, often without realizing it. Think about a day. Maybe toast for breakfast, soup for lunch, a small piece of chicken at dinner.
Doesn't sound like much protein spread out there.
It often isn't. The muscles are basically starved for building materials. The sources cite recommendations, often around 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily for older adults.
Can you give an example?
Sure, for someone weighing about 65 kilos or 143 pounds, that's roughly 80 to 100 grams of protein a day. Many people get maybe half that, or even less.
Wow. And the consequence of not getting enough?
Your body struggles. It can't repair muscle well after activity, maintain strength and balance effectively, heal efficiently, or keep energy levels up.
So how do you boost protein without just eating huge steaks?
Spread it out. The sources emphasize a little protein at every meal and snack. Add eggs at breakfast, Greek yogurt, fish, chicken, lentils, beans, tofu. A protein smoothie can help. Consistency is key, not one giant meal. Muscles need that steady supply.
Built in the kitchen, too, as they say. Okay, habit 4, insufficient sleep. How does sleep tie into muscle strength?
It's absolutely crucial and often overlooked. Your muscles do most of their repair and rebuilding work while you're resting, especially during deep sleep. That's when your body releases growth hormone, fixes tissues, rebuilds fibers.
So if you're not sleeping well or enough,
You're robbing your muscles of that vital repair time. One study mentioned, Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, found less than 6 hours of sleep tanks growth hormone levels.
and the result.
Muscles heal slower, can actually shrink faster, you feel more sore and stiff. The sources generally suggest aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep.
Any tips for better sleep?
The usual suspects, really, but they work. Consistent bedtime and wake-up time. Avoid screens before bed. Dark, quiet, cool room. Maybe a calming routine like tea or a bath. Avoid caffeine and heavy meals in the evening.
Poor sleep just feels like general stress, too, which can't help.
Exactly. Sleep is critical for overall restoration. Don't underestimate it for muscle health.
Got it. Habit number 3, skipping breakfast or starting with the wrong food. Seems minor, maybe you're just not hungry.
But think about it. You've just fasted for 7, 8, maybe 9 hours overnight. Your muscles need fuel to switch gears from breaking down tissue for energy catabolism to rebuilding.
So breakfast stops that breakdown process.
Ideally, yes. A good breakfast provides nutrients to signal, okay, stop breaking down, start repairing. If you skip it or just have, say, coffee and toast,
Which gives a quick burst, but no real substance.
right, you stay in that catabolic state longer. Over time, that contributes to muscle loss, lower energy, slower metabolism. That coffee and toast combo, it spikes blood sugar, then crashes it, offering no lasting muscle support.
So what's a muscle-friendly breakfast look like?
The sources suggest aiming for protein, healthy fats, complex carbs, even a little bit matters. A boiled egg, whole wheat toast, oatmeal with nuts and fruit, Greek yogurt with berries, a protein smoothie. Just break the fast with real nourishment, including protein.
Tell your muscles they're safe and supported.
Exactly.
Okay, habit number 2, sitting for extended periods without moving. This is huge in modern life, right? Desk jobs, commuting, relaxing in front of the TV.
It's incredibly common, and it feels harmless, even restful, but the sources are really clear. Prolonged, unbroken sitting is a major enemy of muscle strength. Our bodies are designed to move.
So sitting for hours sends the wrong signal.
A very strong wrong signal, especially to the big muscles in your legs, hips, core. It basically tells them, we don't need you right now. And the body, being efficient, starts to disinvest. Muscle loss accelerates.
Even if you, say, go for a run every morning, does hours of sitting later still hurt?
That's a key point the research highlights. Prolonged sitting seems to have negative effects, faster muscle loss, frailty, fall risk, even in people who do exercise regularly. The sitting itself is the problem.
Wow. So what's the fix? Just stand up more.
Basically, yes. It's simple but powerful.
Yep.
Break up the sitting time. The sources suggest getting up every 30-40 minutes, even just for a minute or two.
What can you do in that minute?
Stand up during phone calls, do a few stretches watching TV, walk around during commercials, march in place while the kettle boils. Just interrupt the stillness. Remind those muscles they're needed. It keeps blood flowing, joints lubricated, muscles active.
Little movements, big impact. Okay, that brings us to number one. The one you said might surprise people, the one they might think is good. Remaining inactive immediately after meals, like sitting down on the sofa right after dinner.
Yes, this one often catches people off guard. It feels so natural, right? Eat a meal, then relax, let it digest. But physiologically, that immediate stillness isn't ideal. After you eat, your body needs good circulation.
Why specifically after eating?
Two main reasons: to help digest the food properly, and crucially, to transport the nutrients, glucose, amino acids from that meal to your muscles where they can be used for energy or repair. Sitting or lying right down slows that circulation significantly.
So digestion slows, and the nutrients don't get where they need to go efficiently.
Precisely. Instead of being whisked away to muscles, blood sugar might spike higher and stay high longer. Muscles miss that key window for absorbing nutrients. Over time, this pattern contributes to poor circulation, favors fat storage rather than muscle upkeep, leads to stiffness, fatigue.
And accelerates muscle loss, especially lower body.
That's the connection the sources make.
So what should we do instead? Go for a run after eating.
Oh, definitely not. Nothing intense. The recommendation is just gentle movement for 5-10 minutes, stay upright, maybe a slow walk around the house or garden, do some light chores like clearing the table, folding laundry, even just standing and doing gentle stretches helps.
Just keep things moving a little.
Exactly. It aids digestion, helps manage blood sugar, gets nutrients flowing to the muscles, and supports long-term strength and balance. It's a small shift with potentially big long-term benefits.
It really is amazing how these 10 things, the sugar, water, lack of strengthening, bad food choices, painkillers, not enough protein or sleep, skipping breakfast, sitting too long, and being still after meals, how they're often just quiet habits.
They really are. Everyday choices, often unconscious, just adding up over time, slowly eroding strength without any big alarms going off.
But the message from all the sources we looked at is really empowering, isn't it? It's not inevitable. You have the power to change these things.
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean a massive life overhaul tomorrow. Small steps, consistently. An extra glass of water, an egg at breakfast, standing up more often, short walk after dinner.
It reframes staying strong. Less about intense workouts and more about mindful daily habits, gentle, consistent care.
That's a great way to put it.
So, thinking about that list, maybe for you listening, which habit kind of stood out? Which one feels like something you could maybe tweak, even just a little bit, starting today or this week?
It does make you think differently, doesn't it? Knowing that these seemingly small things have such a big cumulative effect on our physical strength, our resilience. It changes how we might approach aging and taking care of ourselves proactively.
It really does. It's a powerful reminder that our independence, our ability to do things as we get older, is built one choice at a time, every single day. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, we really hope these insights help clarify things and maybe empower you to take those small, consistent steps towards keeping yourself strong and mobile for years to come.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep putting these ideas into practice in your own life. Stay well.